Flying is one of those things I have a love-hate relationship with. On one hand, you get to go places, sometimes for fun and sometimes for business. And on the other hand, planes are just sky buses. They're cramped, and the airlines nickel and dime you for everything now. I remember a time when your carry-on wasn't extra, you at least got a drink and a snack without paying, and the cops didn't beat and drag people off the plane because the flights weren't regularly overbooked. But I never had to worry about a Vietnam vet demon possessing the passengers and being caught in the middle of an in-flight exorcism on a plane full of some wild, raunchy characters, which brings me to Exorcism at 60,000 Feet, a new horror comedy from Girls and Corpse's founder, Robert Corpsy Rhine. I'm Mr. Samhain, and this is Corner Room Creep Show. So like I was saying, Exorcism at 60,000 Feet is about, well, in in-flight exorcisms, we got a priest, a rabbi, which is beginning of a bad joke. But if you like trauma movies and the premise of Airplane meets The Exorcist, then you're going to enjoy the hell out of this. Robert Rhine likes all those things, and director Chad Ferrin has done work for trauma as well. Surprise, surprise. Chad has directed Troma's anthologies, Tales from the Crapper, and a couple episodes of Troma's Edge. They're like former social issues and coming attraction show. Plus, he's worked on Hellraiser 4 and Halloween 6. So we got Robert Miano as the priest, Father Romero, who, after killing his possessed former platoon leader Garvin, played by Bill fucking Moseley, Father Romero decides to take his body back to Vietnam. Big mistake. So what happens when you load a body of a possessed veteran on a budget airplane full of some very interesting passengers and crew members on their way to Vietnam on the final flight? You get a gross-out horror comedy that would make Uncle Lloydie proud and trash movie fans should love, as Father Romero has to run around the plane and try to save the flight by exorcising the demon, with the help of the crew and a rabbi, played by Robert Rhine himself, who is also the writer, producer, and more. Here on Exorcism at 60,000 Feet. But in a cast with Adrienne Barbeau playing a rich first-class passenger, Lance Henricksen playing the pilot, Captain Howdy, Exorcist reference, Kevin J. O'Connor as the continuously passed-over co-pilot, and Kelli Maroney as the mom of a dwarf son with Tourette's that still breastfeeds. Ling is the one with the best character. The same Ling that thinks she's from the moon. She may be eccentric in real life, but she handles her own as the wild and uber stereotypical Vietnamese flight attendant Amanda with most of the best lines. This movie is full of raunchy, gross-out humor involving a dirty tampon, snot, an old vegan meal of peas that becomes projectile puke, Exorcist reference, and then a glowing pussy, just like Marcellus Wallace's briefcase from Pulp Fiction. Then there's the budget practical effects from Joe Castro, who's done a number of low-budget horror movies like Evil Tunes, and also recently did the Friday the 13th fan film Vengeance. We got a burnt corpse, frozen passengers, a possessed dead dog, a flying demon fetus, exploding bodybuilder, and demon sex-related face melt. Exorcism at 60,000 Feet doesn't really hold back. It still feels kind of long for what it is, even at an hour and a half. But that's because they jam-packed it full of practical effects, very different characters, wild, raunchy humor, and it's not PC at all. So, a perfect kind of movie for me. Plus, Richard Band of Puppet Master fame did the score. Robert Rhine got the idea after a flight to Vietnam with a cabin crew, similar to the ones played by Ling and Matthew Moy here, who are like the stars. And The World is Better for his independently financed horror comedy inspired by a vacation flight that actually didn't end up like this movie, which was originally titled Fly Zone, so luckily someone told them that title sucked and they changed it. I give Exorcism at 60,000 Feet 4 stars. Gross humor, wild dialogue, abrasive stereotypes, naked nun boobs. Those will win me every time if the movie keeps it moving and never slows down, which this doesn't. Well, that's it for episode 7. I'll catch you creeps in a couple of weeks for another episode of Corner Room Creep Show. Until then, I'm Mr. Samhain saying, watch something new for a change. I'll see you next time.